Students, today we will study the nomenclature of the coordination compounds. We are going to study the nomenclature of the coordination compounds. Now, for the IUPAC name of the coordination compounds is named keeping some rules in mind. So, first of rule, we will write first rule. You know, in coordination complexes, if there is for example in organic chemistry I will write a name. This is sodium chloride. You write it first, you write cation sodium chloride. This is the organic compound. And similarly in case of coordination compound, अगर आपके पास ionic complex है, if their complex is ionic, so in ionic complexes you have to name my cation is named first. Cation is named first. For example, I will write here a complex K4 FeCN6. Now here this is potassium, it is cation. You have to name first this potassium. So in ionic complexes, first the cation is named. Cation is named first, and then followed by anion. As you know, in case of inorganic salt, I have written the sodium chloride as an example. You name it as sodium chloride. First you take the cation and then anion. Similarly, in case of coordination complexes, when it is ionic complex, you have to first name the cation is named first, and इसके बाद you have to name, after naming the cation, you have to name the ligands. Naming of ligands, यानी उसके बाद आपका जो coordination entity आती है, in the coordination entity, that means now we have named potassium, then we are proceeding towards this coordination sphere or coordination entity. So naming of coordination entity mein, first off you have to name the ligands. In coordination entity, जो है coordination entity, that means in coordination sphere you have to name first the ligand. First ligand is named. First. So you know, students, first you have named, and you have started name. If it was ionic, you have named first the cation. What is the cation? For example, I have given you the example. I have first here we have to name the potassium. Still we have not read what is Fe and Cn. Complex, now in complex here, now in complex it is Fe and Cn. Cn is the ligand, so we have to name the first ligand. So it is cyanide group. We will write cyanide. I will teach you this, how will we name this. So in coordination complexes or in coordination sphere or coordination entity, you have to name the ligand first. And naming of ligands, for example, now third is naming of ligands. How will you name the ligands? So naming of the ligands जो है, जब आप ligands का नाम लेंगे तो first of all you have to write that those ligands, whether organic or inorganic ligands, if they are anionic, yani those ligands which are having negative sign, if the ligands are having negative sign, so anionic ligands, whether they are organic or they are inorganic, their name ends in O. Go name of, I will write it, name of anionic ligands. anionic ligands, those ligands which are having negative charge and in O, यानी उनमें A, that means आपका negative ligand, for example, if it negative ligand ends in ide, or if ends in ite, if it ends in ate, for example ide आपके पास फ्लोराइड है, so this E जो आपका है it is replaced by O, so the name becomes fluorido. Similarly ite है, for example आपके पास negative ligand है sulfite, so it will become sulfito, sulphite, T है, E is replaced by O. So 8 जो है for example sulfate है आपके पास, so E is replaced by O, so it will become sulfato. So in negative ligands आपके पास है anionic ligands जो इनका they end in O. For example आपके पास आइड है लास्ट पर 8 है, तो नेगेटिव लिगेंड्स जो E इनका है that is replaced जो E आपका नेगेटिव में आता है that is replaced and O is added. Now we will study the negative ligands. For example if it is fluoride, तो इसका नाम जो आएगा it is fluorido. Keep it in mind, you have to write the name not in cap, you have to write in small letters, F small, fluorido. For example it is chloride group, so it is chlorido. Similarly if it is bromine, यानी bromide group है आपके पास, so it is bromido. For example it is NO2, this is nitrito. अब you have to write here the attachment, point of attachment is N, so you will write it nitrito N. Similarly if it is point of attachment, if it is ONO, that means point of attachment is O, you have to write it nitrito O. Similarly if it is SO4, that is sulfate group, so you will write it sulfato. Similarly if it is OH group, this hydroxide group, you will write hydroxo. Similarly if it is oxalate group, you have to write it oxalato. Similarly if it is acetate group, it is acetato. With SCN, it is thiocyanato. Similarly if it is oxo group. For example if it is P3, that is phosphido. For example if it is N3 negative, it is azido. Similarly if it is hydride group H, hydrido. For example if there is coordinate group, it is carbonato. Similarly if it is NH group, if it is NH2 group, it is amido. For example if it is chlorate group, it is chlorato. So we write, that means those negative ligands or anionic ligands जो हैं that end in O. Similarly if there is a positive ligand, पॉजिटिव लिगेंड्स दे एंड, अगर आपको उनका नाम एंड होगा IUM, उनको लास्ट पर IUM लगाना है। फॉर एग्जांपल इट इज NO, पॉजिटिव ग्रुप है, ये पॉजिटिव लिगेंड है, सो इट इज नाइट्रोसोनियम, नाइट्रोसोनियम, you have to end the name with IUM. For example, NH2 NH3 group, so it is hydrazinium. For example, it is NO2 positive, it is nitronium. So negative ligands end in IUM. Now if it is neutral ligand, neutral ligands are named as such. There is no change in the neutral ligands. For example, if it is CH3NH2, it is methyl amine, सीधा लिखना है methyl amine. अगर आपके पास फॉर एग्जांपल C6H5 whole thrice P, so it is triphenyl phosphine, सीधा लिखना है triphenyl phosphine. Similarly, आपके पास PH3 सीधा phosphine है, you have to write it simply phosphine. इसी तरह अगर आपके पास C6H5 ये पायरिडीन ग्रुप है, तो you have to write pyridine सीधा. दैट मीन्स न्यूट्रल लिगेंड्स में कोई चेंज नहीं की जाती है। पॉजिटिव लिगेंड्स में लास्ट पर IUM लगाया जाता है, न्यूट्रल लिगेंड्स में कोई चेंज नहीं होती है। सिमिलरली फॉर एग्जांपल आपके पास NH2 CH2 ये न्यूट्रल लिगेंड है, सो इथेन 1,2 डायमाइन, सीधा इथेन 1,2 डायमाइन या इथिलीन डायमाइन, सीधा इथिलीन डायमाइन भी लिख सकते हैं। सो इस तरह हम नेगेटिव लिगेंड्स को नाम कर सकते हैं। नाउ देयर आर सम एक्सेप्शंस। फॉर एग्जांपल एक्सेप्शंस क्या है इन केस ऑफ न्यूट्रल लिगेंड्स? न्यूट्रल लिगेंड्स जो हैं उनमें कुछ एक्सेप्शंस होती हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल एक्सेप्शंस क्या हैं? अगर आपके पास H2O ग्रुप है, इसको यू राइट इट एक्वा, एक्वा। अगर आपके पास NH3 ग्रुप, इट इज वी राइट इट amine, कीप इट इन माइंड, इट AMMINE, amine। NO group, it is neutral, nitrosyl, these are exceptions। CO group, it is carbonyl। CS, it is thiocarbonyl, these are exceptions। so these exceptions, whatever we write aqua, NH3 we write amine, NO nitrosyl, CO carbonyl, CS thiocarbonyl। नाउ ऑर्डर ऑफ, अब जब लिगेंड्स हैं अगर कैसे उनका नाम कैसे लिखेंगे? ऑर्डर ऑफ नेमिंग लिगेंड्स। स्टूडेंट्स, in the old system they were named according to the charge, but now they are named according the ligands are named in the alphabetical order। if there are number of ligands, so you have to, ligands are named, your name उनको नाम देना है in alphabetical order without consideration of charge, without consideration of charge, consideration of charge, without consideration of charge. चार्ज में कोई कंसिडरेशन आपको नहीं है. You have to write without consideration of charge. You have to name the ligands in alphabetical order. For example, आपके पास ligand है, मैं आपके मिसाल देता हूँ. For example, it is फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपके पास ग्रुप है इस वक्त. एक तो आप क्लोराइड ग्रुप है, दूसरा एमाइनी ग्रुप है, तीसरा नाइट्राइटो ग्रुप है. सो यू हैव टू राइट इट फर्स्ट. यू हैव अल्फाबेटिकल ऑर्डर. इट इज पहले कैटाइन लेंगे आप. इट इज फॉर एग्जाम्पल इट इज एमाइनी. पहले ए आएगा, एमाइनी, फिर क्लोराइड ग्रुप, फिर दिस वन NO2 ग्रुप, नाइट्राइटो N. So this first I have named them alphabet. First I have taken amine group, then chloride group, then nitrate group. So this will be the order of naming of ligands. First you have to name the ligands in the alphabetical order. For example, I will write another compound that it is K3 FeCN5 NO. This is the group. For example, this is cyanido group and this is nitrosyl group. So you have to write first C, the alpha. This ligand we starts with the alphabetical order C. So it is cyanido, cyano, और cyanido, एंड उसके बाद आप नाइट्रोजाइल लिखेंगे. एंड पहले cyanido फिर नाइट्रोजाइल आ जाएगा. सो ऑर्डर ऑफ नेम, ligands are named in the alphabetical order, so without consideration of any charge. Now numerical prefixes, there are used numerical prefixes to indicate number of ligands. So अगर आपके पास you are the ligands of same type, अगर आपके पास ligands हैं, ligand two or more ligands of same type, एक ही टाइप के दो या दो ज्यादा लिगेंड्स है. फॉर एग्जांपल आपके पास दो क्लोरीन है, Cl2 है, सो इट इज डाइक्लोराइडो. अगर तीन है यानी यू हैव टू यूज द प्रीफिक्सेस देयर. फॉर दो के लिए डाई, फॉर थ्री इट इज ट्राई, एंड फॉर फोर इट इज टेट्रा. यू यूज द प्रीफिक्स डाई, ट्राई एंड टेट्रा. इफ numerical prefixes, there are number of numericals. For example, two or more type of these ligands of same type are present, then you have to use the word prefix di, tri and tri. Di for 2, tri for 3, tetra for 4. So students, I will repeat it again. Today we are going to study the nomenclature. In nomenclature, you have to first name the ligand. You have to name first cation, then ligands, whether organic or inorganic. If they are anionic, they end in O, and if it is positive ligand, it ends in IUM. If it is neutral, there is no change. And if there are some ligands, exceptions, water, amine, nitrosyl, carbonyl and thiocarbonyl, and order of naming ligands are named in the alphabetical order, and then numeral prefixes are added if there are two or more types of same type of ligands are present. Then the word di, tri and tetra are used for two ligands if the two ligands are of same type. If three are there, for example, if there are three amine group, go triamine. So in this way we write the ligands. Rest we will study tomorrow.